If I were to propose a deal where I would give you $1 full for 60 cents, would you do it? Or let's just say $100 for $60. Would you take that deal? Yes, you would. It's pretty much a no-brainer. You pay $60, you get a $40 return, pure profit on that $60 right off the bat. Well, what if I told you that there's a company where you can achieve something similar to these returns? Yes, it might sound too good to be true, but fear not, because it is true. This company is Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, and they have tons and tons of cash. Last quarter, they reported they have $1.39 billion in cash. They have almost no debt whatsoever, and the stock is currently trading at an $822 million market cap. So essentially, you're paying about $60 for $100 by investing in this company. Now, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. There definitely are some risks involved in buying Nano Dimension, but I do believe the whole reason behind this stock selling off in the first place is completely flawed, especially when looking at how stocks are fundamentally valued. So with that being said, I do in fact think this stock is a buy, and we'll be spending this video going over the reasons why. Anyways, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you wanted the trades before they go live on YouTube, or if you can't be on my live streams, the first link below in the description is where you can get my trade alerts. They've been on absolute fire lately. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so here is Nano Dimension's balance sheet. We can go over everything in a minor amount of detail. We won't spend too long on it, but you'll first see right here $822 million market cap, and boom, $1.39 billion in cash. Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, we can see long-term debt only $3.58 million. Their cash position swallows their long-term debt. Total liabilities $29 million. Again, their cash position squanders that, putting them at a total equity value of about $1.5 billion for shareholders. So what does this essentially mean? It means that this company can essentially say tomorrow that they are donezo, right? That they cannot continue their operations. They're never going to be profitable. Their Dragonfly printer, which is their main product, is never going to go mainstream, right? They're never going to be able to sell these things. They're too expensive, whatever it may be. They could liquidate all of the company's assets, right? And they have to pay it out to shareholders. And essentially what you'd be getting is, if you pay $60 for a share and they liquidate all their assets, you'd be getting a return of $100 for that, right? So that's a pretty decent return. In fact, that's a 66% return on your money if this company fails. Think about that. Put that into perspective right there. Now, the biggest risk to investing in Nano Dimension long term would be the fact that they have pretty much been unable to post decent revenue, right? So their company's $820 million in market cap. It actually went down since making this video, but they only make about $1 million per quarter, right? And even less in the previous quarter. So they really don't make too much money. Also, they can burn some cash, but all putting it into perspective of their $1.4 billion in cash, it doesn't really seem to matter, right? They're not going to have to take out any debt to fund their operations in the future. Essentially, what you're betting on with this company is that they just don't burn all of this cash, right? Essentially, what you're saying is that they don't throw this cash in the fire to use it for heat, right? Essentially. And then the short-term risks for this company is that it's very highly correlated to the current NASDAQ sell-off and just the sell-off of growth stocks in general. The largest institutional holder of this stock is ARK Investment. Their fund has been selling off. That's obviously going to be correlated to the sell-off that we see in Nano Dimension. But when we're just looking at fundamentals and long-term, those risks seem pretty insignificant, and it just gives you a cheaper price on this stock. Now, zooming out even further, you guys can see the monthly chart. They have not done too hot. This is due to the fact that they have diluted shareholders like crazy. You'll notice that in 2020, the volume on this stock went up very significantly. During this time, that is when they were able to raise all of that cash that's on their balance sheet. So they actually diluted shareholders like crazy. That could also be perceived as a risk, but at the end of the day, their cash position is so large now, I don't believe that they will be diluting shareholders as much, but they do have a history of doing that in the past, so it could definitely still happen. I'd like to take a quick break to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo.com. They have a fantastic stock brokerage promotion. They're a licensed FINRA broker in the United States. They do absolutely zero payment for order flow. They give away free level 2 data on top of that. And they have a fantastic brokerage promotion right now where all you have to do is deposit $1 on their brokerage platform. You can get up to $7,000 in free stock. Obviously, they have an even better promotion right here. You deposit $2,000, get three stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So if you do $2,000, you get 3 stocks valued up to $3,500 each. On top of this, they also have a special AMC stock promotion where you deposit $100, you get 1 free share of AMC. But personally, I think this $1 to get up to $7,000 in free stock is a no-brainer, especially in the current market. Absolutely insane. Plus, it supports the channel, so I appreciate it very much. But with all that being said, let's get right back into it. The links are below in the description or pinned comment section if you would like to sign up. Doing a brief chart analysis with Market Cipher, this technical analysis software. There is a link below in the description if you wanted to check that out as well. You guys can see that there were 2 buy signals on this chart. I don't know if you can see this one. So the last one was all the way back here in March of 2020, and that was pretty much when this was at an all-time low. So that last signal there on the weekly candles was a very successful signal because, as you can see, after this signal, the stock went up like absolute crazy, right? They've also had some pretty solid short sell signals on top of that. So they gave one right back here in March of 2021, so about a year later. And you can see what happened to the stock price after this. They also gave one back here in July of 2021. And again, you can see what happened to the stock price since then. So they have a weekly signal on the chart right now as of January 3rd. And we have gone down since then, so we could potentially get another green dot here. It's definitely an oversold stock. The general strategy for Market Cipher is you want to avoid buying the stock when it's up here unless it's for like a quick flip, a day trade, or swing trade or something like that. And if you want to do a long-term investment, you want to be buying when it's bleeding out down here. So that's why I printed that green dot recently on Nano Dimension. Looking at some of the ratios here on FinViz, you guys can see their price to sales is super high. We went over that. They don't make too much in revenue. That is probably the biggest risk to their long-term success. But with their current cash position, essentially all they have to do is not burn that cash, like I said, right? Most companies are in the position where they actually need to make money for their shareholders, right? To make it seem like a solid investment. They're in a position where they have to not lose money, right? They have to not burn $500 million. Even if they did burn $500 million, they'd still be in a relatively solid position. So the 0.61 price to book value, that's where I essentially got, you pay me $60, I give you $100, 0.6 times 100, 61 bucks, off by $1, who cares? Their current ratio is 96. This is insane. You want to have a current ratio above 1. So essentially what a current ratio is that you need enough liquid assets within a year to meet obligations or liabilities that are due within a year. If you have a current ratio below 1, your company is probably not in a great financial position. A current ratio of 96, that's a different story. That's a fantastic current ratio. They've also been investing some of this money this quarter, so their cash position should be going down slightly on their next earnings. That's not until March. But the article mentions that Nano Dimension establishes first additively manufactured electronics AME Nanolab facility to advance multi-layer printed electronics. So they are in fact putting this cash to work, and essentially they need this to not be a failure. That's essentially all they have to do, is not fail with any investment that they make. And even then, there's some wiggle room because they just got so much cash. Anyways, the options flow over the past week has also been pretty solid. There was only 2 puts being placed from whales, so we're essentially using $10,000 in premium or more on these options bets, and we're doing ask side only, so it's only the buying of calls or buying of puts. Over the past week, it has been a very bullish. The biggest bets coming in yesterday with 30K premium, 55K premium, 61K premium, all fired as of yesterday. It looks like whales are starting to realize, hey, this might be a little undervalued. This might have sold off in correlation with other growth stocks, but wait, this doesn't make sense because they don't have to borrow money. They don't have to pay interest rates on that debt. They have the cash already that they need to grow their company. So I think whales are catching on to that. If we show the charts right here, it's been about 90% bullish, 88% bullish. Majority of these whales are going for August of 2022 or later. So the main strike price there is August of 2022, strike price expiration, and the main strike price is $2.50. There's a decent amount of short interest on this stock as well. 24.6 million shares are currently being shorted. They have about 250 million shares in their float. So that is a decently significant sum right there. Now, it's not too expensive to short this stock. There's plenty of more ammo for shorts, but if this stock did catch up to its net asset value, it would take 3 days to cover for shorts, and that is a decent number. So potentially there could be some short squeeze juice, but it's not something I'm necessarily counting on. Overall, the asymmetric risk to reward here is absolutely fantastic. Again, you're essentially betting that this company doesn't start a fire and throws that cash into the fire. They're not going to do that. They're going to invest in this company. Maybe those investments aren't profitable, okay? But they have wiggle room to fail in that case, right? So it just seems pretty crazy. And like I said, the deal that you're getting here is essentially you pay $60, you get 100 back. And if they decide, oh, the company's done, right? They liquidate all their assets, they pay it out to shareholders. Again, you're getting that deal where you pay $60, you get $100 back. They could potentially even give a dividend. I don't think they're going to do that just based on their track record. That would also be kind of sketchy because they raised a bunch of money by diluting shareholders, and to just give it back to shareholders after the stock price has crashed, that's a little weird. But at this point, again, the cash value on this company is just so amazing, and that's why I am currently in on this play. Again, guys, if you want these trade alerts before they make it in a video, before they become public Hootmoney information, sign up for trade alerts using that first link below in the description or pinned comment section. We've been doing absolutely fantastic these past few weeks on the trade alerts, gang, in a pretty bloody market, so it has been good. Also, feel free to use that link below to sign up for Moomoo. Deposit $1, get up to $7,000 in free stock, as well as an AMC stock if you deposit $100. Anyways, my friends, like the video. That's all I got. I'll be seeing you guys later. See ya!